In Venezuela, protesters are on the streets amid power cuts, food shortages and price rises. The US is imposing sanctions and says it wants to get rid of the president, Nicolas Maduro. Another politician has declared himself the interim president. The country with the world's largest oil reserves seems to be undergoing a political and economic crisis. I'm Andrew Hopkins, and I've been speaking to the Venezuelan Foreign Minister, Jorge Arreaza, one-on-one. At the moment in the media we're seeing lots of images from Venezuela of protests. We're hearing about food shortages, price rises. What's your evaluation of the situation of Venezuela at the moment?
There's a failure by Western media to follow what's going on in Venezuela properly. Of course we have problems, especially from 2014 to 2017, when the protests on the streets caused a lot of damage. But in the Venezuelan streets, everything is very peaceful. It's true that U.S. sanctions have created economic problems like hyperinflation. But in general, our streets are calm, and Venezuelans continue their normal daily lives.
What does the Venezuelan government plan to do about these economic problems?
The thing the Venezuelan government needs to do is to diversify the economy. That's what we are supposed to do and what we are doing. The other thing is that the Bolivarian revolution has to find a new way forward and also needs to continue to work with its current allies. But all we do will be for the welfare and peace of our people.
The Turkish government has been very supportive of the Venezuelan president. How much is that support worth, and what can these two countries achieve together in the face of sanctions from the United States and other countries?
Actually, Turkey is doing what it's supposed to be doing. According to international law, Turkey is respecting and supporting the legally elected government in Venezuela, in spite of all the foreign pressure. So we're thankful for what Turkey is doing.
At the moment in Venezuela, there seems to be a political impasse. We have somebody, an opposition politician, who has declared himself interim president, and we have the Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro. How can this situation be resolved?
The only way at this point is to stick to our Constitution and protect the Constitution. But when we look at the opposition, we see that they're more loyal to the White House. They also said that openly, and they're not protecting the national government. We won't do what foreign powers want us to do. The only thing we will do is act according to our Constitution.
So far it seems that Venezuela has refused to accept aid from outside organisations because there may be another political agenda behind those offers of aid. But if there was another organisation like the Red Cross or the United Nations involved, would that change things for you? Would you accept it?
The U.S. is trying to create a perception that we have a humanitarian crisis. They did the same before in other Latin American countries to legalize their interventions. We just need to take a look at the UN agreements to see that everything is very clear there. Nicolas Maduro never denied logistical or medical aid from UN organizations or organizations linked to the UN. Of course, he never accepted aid from the US, which tried to send so-called humanitarian aid, but the media made fake news out of it and said Venezuela is not accepting humanitarian aid.
The United States at the moment says it recognises somebody else as the president of Venezuela. It's introducing sanctions. Are you worried that it could stage some kind of military intervention?
This was always an option for the U.S. They repeated several times that a military intervention is on the table. On the U.S. side, there's no understanding of a peaceful solution, dialogue, or respecting the Constitution and national sovereignty. But we're prepared, along with our people and army, to respond to a potential military intervention. But we hope that the U.S. will give up this stupidity.